Journalist Shane Watson here for PSB Sports. I'm lucky enough to be joined by Richard Schaefer. How are you, Richard?
Very well, thank you.
Lovely to have you in the UK yet again.
Happy to be here.
Yeah,
always.
It's good. You always look happy to be in the UK, actually.
We've done so many big fights. Fortunate to promote Ricky Hatton, Amir Khan, David Hay, and now I'm here with the juggernaut, Joyce, who I believe will rule the heavyweight division very soon.
Of course, massive fight coming up for him. The main Stiverne. I mean, some people are asking why he's fighting that early. The reason why he's fighting that early is because he's fearless and obviously he's got good people behind him. But what's your thought ahead of Saturday night?
Well, you saw Stiverne coming into the room. The man is ready. He is not the Stiverne we saw in his last fight against Deontay Wilder. I think it's the Stiverne we've seen against Chris Arreola. He's athletic, he's ready mentally and physically, and it will not be an easy fight. He's a former world champion, has an unbelievable amount of experience, and you have to realize Joe is only had 7 fights. So it's going to be an interesting night. And am I a little bit nervous? Yes, I'm a little bit nervous, but at the same time, I know how good Joyce is, and I'm sure he will pass this test with flying colors.
With the late edition of the WBA Gold, WBA Eliminator, and with Fraser Quende putting it out against Manuel Shah, that fight being off, it looks like they're going to call Manuel Shah and Trevor Bryan, I believe. Would that mean that the winner would have to go on and fight Joyce afterwards?
Yes, that's exactly the idea, that the winner of that fight would then fight Joyce, assuming Joe wins.
Of course.
And so we could see potentially, by the end of the year, we could see Joyce as the WBA heavyweight champion of the world.
Of course. And
after only, let's see, 9 fights or something like that.
And what's going to happen with that? Does that push on him to then be mandatory for Joshua afterwards as well in a while?
Yeah, so then after that, we'll obviously going to pursue whether it's a Joshua, Fury, or a Wilder.
Where obviously there's history in sparring.
Yeah, exactly. So Joe is ready. Joe is ready, and we are not afraid to put him in with any of those guys. Most importantly, Joe is not afraid.
No, of course. And with, as we're talking about heavyweight boxing, with Tyson Fury announcing that new deal with ESPN, well, it's exciting times for heavyweight boxing, isn't it? I mean, there's money being thrown everywhere, there's TV deals being chucked everywhere, and Joyce is a win away against Stiverne from being right up there with them as well.
Absolutely, I think it's an interesting time to be a heavyweight. We have sort of like the 3 kings, Wilder, Fury, and Joshua. Each one aligned now with a different platform. We'll see if we can somehow get them to fight each other, and only the future will tell. But the fact is, Joe is not affiliated with any of those platforms, and so Joe can go and fight whoever he wants to fight, and that's good, because none of the networks have made an investment in Joe. We made the investment in Joe, so we can go wherever we can get the best deal.
But if an offer was set to come out of something like that for Joe, that is surely something you would consider, wouldn't it?
With who?
With like any of the major players. Like,
absolutely, no question about it. I mean, that's what Joe wants. But I say that's probably more likely for sometime next year, because now we have our plan laid out, and we really want to get to that WBA heavyweight title. That's what we want.
Of course. And
because we don't want to, we're not going to be anybody's opponent. This is Joyce, and we'll see how the whole thing goes.
And a quick thing on Eubank De Gale as well.
Oh, fantastic fight! I think a 50-50 fight. We have to see what does De Gale has left. And that's really the question here. So I think it's a fascinating matchup, top to bottom. A great bill, a great ITV box office bill, and I do believe that Stiverne and Joyce heavyweight, the O2 is going to steal the show. I mean, I just can't wait.
And just to round off, what do you make of what happened between Sam Jones and Stiverne there earlier?
Well, it's a little bit. He obviously sort of like got under Stiverne's skin. You could obviously see that. And
do you think it's more of the history that was happening on Twitter, or more what happened today?
I don't. I think what it is, he sort of like poked the bear a bit, Sam Jones, and he feels poked. And you know what, a good friend of mine, the great Bernard Hopkins, once said that if you can get in a press conference, if you can get under the skin of your opponent and you can make your opponent angry, then you won half the battle. And I said, what do you mean? He says, an angry man makes mistakes. And I think Stiverne is going to be an angry man. And if he's going to be as an angry man going into the ring, he might make mistakes, and Joe might take advantage of that. So I think very clever from Sam Jones on how he poked the bear. I had to slow him down a bit because it seemed like Stiverne was gonna go for him, and that of course I didn't want because. Then you start getting suspensions and issues, and then
probably an injured Sam Jones as well.
The fight doesn't happen, So I was like, okay, it's enough now.
So. Okay, thanks for joining us. Sports, Richard. Always a pleasure to have you on, and we'll catch up with you ahead of fight night.
Okay, great. We'll see you later on. Thanks.